every year is different. There were a lot of areas of central and southern Alberta that had gone through a couple of dry years.
Correct.
And one of the questions, or well, it was quite often was asked, was, growers had applied, let's say, enough fertilizer, shooting for, let's say, an average or slightly below average crop because they weren't sure what they were going to get.
Right.
This year, the taps turned on, and they started to realize, we've got the makings of a big crop coming here, and
Correct.
I think I'm a little bit short on maybe my
Correct.
nitrogen rate. There were a lot of questions about top dressing.
Absolutely.
So just like some of your
Yes.
comments on top dressing
Absolutely.
and where these products would fit in.
That has been the hot topic this this spring, top dressing. And we have to look at top dressing when we're talking about cereals like wheat. We're talking about top dressing in order to get higher yield, which is the case. Now the people are short and all of a sudden, the sky is opened and there's a lot of rain. Or top dressing later on in the season for getting protein. Also, we're talking about top dressing with canola. So let's talk about cereals first, wheat. The best time to get a maximum yield by top dressing nitrogen fertilizer is prior to the stage where the first node of, appears on,
Right.
So that is called sixth stage or first node visible. That anything prior to that, and I've got actually 82 trials from back in my previous life, from southern Alberta, as a matter of fact, showing that any time prior to that, you're going to get maximum yield. Now, if you are short and you leave later on, you will get a bump in the yield, but it's not going to reach the maximum, Now you start contributing towards protein. And when it gets to the stage 11, which is when the dough now, is being formed, that's when, in essence, somebody should stop applying, People are talking about another hot subject this year has been post-anthesis application, and you have to be very careful with post-anthesis because you may add more nitrogen, but you may not increase the protein. What the heck do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the methodology for protein, it measures nitrogen and then multiplies by 5.7.
Right.
Well, if you spray something with nitrogen and it's sitting on the surface, of course you're going to have more nitrogen, and you're going to get higher. You're going to calculate higher protein, but you're not going to have higher protein. So you look in the literature, you look at the research, and stage 10.5, when the anthesis is when flowering, in other words, that's the best time to apply. And then now depends on what source you have. We all know that the liquid urea is absorbed by the leaves much more effectively than UAN because UAN, 1/3 of it, of the nitrogen there, is nitrate.
Right.
And leaves, they will not, convert the nitrate to the amino acids that are required for protein. Also, UAN causes some damage,
Right.
So if you're thinking, soil applications are the best for that time.
Right.
Now, when it comes to canola, again, actually I had two sites here in Alberta that we monitor on a weekly basis. One was in Olds and one was in Carstairs. And we were out sampling every week. And we found out that the maximum uptake or rate of uptake for canola happens at the 6-leaf stage. What we were doing in those studies, we would put 60% or 100% of the fertilizer down, and also 60% of the fertilizer down, and come back after 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 weeks and put the other 40% on. 5 to 6 weeks is where the 6-leaf stage is, approximately. We found out that if you come, and there is, of course, you have to have rainfall, you're going to get the maximum yield. And also, if there is rainfall, you may even get, like we had one case where we got 6-7 bushels more yield by doing that. So keep that in mind that for canola is that 6-leaf stage that you have, After that, we could not really get, again, we will get a little bit of bump in the yield, but not the maximum yield. So keep that in mind, okay?